Oh, it's on. This is Semifinal A of the 2012 Tving OSL between JangBi and ZerO. This is gonna be a good one. I'm pumped. I'm just a ball of energy today. I'm glad I decided to cast today instead of yesterday when I was just in a freaking coma. But today, much different, and I'm very pumped for the semifinal. We're gonna start off on Neo Ground Zero, ZerO's home turf, and that will be our double map of the day, played in sets 1 and 5 if we get to 5. I'm so excited, I don't even know where to begin. So, let's just wait for that accept, shall we? Waiting, the waiting game, looking at my watch. Accept. Down at the 5 o'clock position in red is JangBi. That means up at the 10 o'clock position in green is ZerO. Fantastic semifinal lineup, I have to say. This is probably one of the best groups of 4 I've seen. One of the best. I've cast a couple of really good ones, but this is definitely up there. Freaking ZerO versus JangBi, and then Fantasy versus Flash. Nothing but awesome players here. And where do I even begin? God, I'm so excited. Okay, let's slow down. Get my breath. And I have written down some stats. Let's get to those stats first before anything else. To get this ship on course, so to speak. Okay, here's the... Oh, I came to Korea to see JangBi win the last Brood War MSL Stormu! Go, JangBi. Yeah, I love it when they hold up English signs, because I don't really have to commentate, I only have to read signs. Much easier. But anyway, let's get those stats out of the way. Pretty big, well, I guess not pretty big, but there is a disparity between the win records of the two. JangBi has a 52% versus Zerg record. It's his worst. And he faced a Zerg in the semifinals last season, which was Su, and he 3-0'd Su. But I think this series is going to go quite differently. ZerO is a much better ZVP player than Su was. He has a 59% versus Protoss record. Oh my god, Gateway first build and Assimilator from JangBi. Oh dear god, JangBi. So JangBi is going Gateway first against ZerO. Ridiculous. And this kind of lines up with, I wrote down a list of what to expect, and the second item is an unusual approach from JangBi. Oh, the Cybernetics core already. So I think that JangBi might be working on a tech rush of some kind. Oh dear god. But spawning pool first for ZerO, so he's definitely going to be prepared to handle any early aggressiveness from JangBi. But I wrote down that second item of what to expect, unusual approach from JangBi, because in his last semifinal against Su, he ended up using Dark Archons. But this kind of approach, teching up this quickly, is definitely a much more unusual approach than just simply Dark Archons. So I'm very excited to see what JangBi has in store for this game. ZerO was moving out. He already put down his second base, moving out with Zerglings now to chase away the Scout. But the Scout will probably... Let's see if the Scout will get up there in time. The Zerglings are probably going to try to intercept it, but... this is nonsense from JangBi out of the gate. Oh my god. So he's holding his choke with a single Zealot and a probe. And ZerO's getting ready to plop down his third base. He's going down there to scout. Oh, he's pulling back with the drone. This is smart, actually. He probably just scouted that JangBi didn't throw down a Forge Fast expand. So he's like, okay, nonsense coming my way, so I'm probably not going to be able to hold a third base, which is probably true. Dragoon coming up now. Citadel of Adun. So, yeah, JangBi is going for a Dark Templar rush. Wow. So, yes, JangBi certainly knows how to play a series. I'm just recalling back again to the semifinal last season versus Su when he did go for Dark Archons, and I don't believe he had used Dark Archons at any time prior to that in the season. So there's the Templar Archives, the second gateway on the way for JangBi. So yeah, he likes to get into his opponent's head. If the opponent has prepared for JangBi's style of PvZ, which is usually more standard, he wants to turn those expectations on their head and just throw down with some madness. You saw that definitely in the last final against Fantasy as well, when he went for the carrier build on Pathfinder twice. That was insane nonsense. And he's definitely opening up with some crazy crap in this game already. But JangBi is looking for a third base. He's probably going to go down here and say, yeah, it looks like ZerO scouted me, and he's going to react to what I'm up to. ZerO throwing down the Hydraless Den. So he's going to try to fight back JangBi with just the Hydras and the Zerglings, getting the third hatchery going inside of the main. Well, let's see what JangBi is up to. Probably working on this Dark Templar now. The Observer is keeping an eye on the gateways just in case. But the second base is mining for ZerO. But he has the third hatchery going, going to try to pump enough Hydras to fight this back for now, and then eventually break through into JangBi's base. But the Dark Templar on the way, not sure if ZerO's scouting this. If we see him move a Zergling, nope, didn't move a Zergling, but he does have an Overlord positioned at that natural expansion, so he probably expects what's coming his way. He probably knows exactly what's happening, so he just needs to prepare for it. He has one Hydra that I see at the front, which won't be enough to fight this back. Some Zerglings trying to sneak inside the main, but more Dark Templar being warped in from JangBi. But here come Hydras now. Hydras trying to come down to protect us, but only 3 Hydras. Oh my god. Dark Templar have the Warp Blades, which are very, very effective against Hydras. They can just melt those immediately and bring in the entire ground army into play. Oh my god. JangBi's trying to kill the drones inside of this main. I see the lair morphing for ZerO, and that second hatchery is not done yet. Just popped up. So ZerO might be cutting it awfully close, but he has his Hydras now, healthy grouping of Hydras, to at least deal with these Dark Templar that are inside the main, but still a big army coming his way to the natural expansion. Oh my god, so JangBi's going to try to break through the natural. And the smart thing that JangBi is doing here is just splitting ZerO's attention, because ZerO has to group up with all his Hydras at once if he wants to survive this. Oh my god, pulling down with most of his army, while the Dark Templar is still inside the main, almost taking down the Hydraless Den. So, yeah, some drones forced to pull back and forth. This is definitely disrupting ZerO's mining. But it seems that ZerO has grouped up enough Hydras now. Yeah, he's getting rid of the Dark Templar inside of his main, finally getting rid of everything at the natural expansion as well. So he is going to hold, barely. Almost got ground down there by JangBi. But now JangBi is transitioning into more standard play, going to try to jumpstart his economy off of that rush. But he got an awful lot of damage done, and almost took down that Hydraless Den. That would have been absolutely critical if he had taken that down, but he got it close. Let's see, more gateways being added for JangBi, and finally the Forge. That'll help him cannon up at that natural expansion and protect against the inevitable Hydra push from ZerO soon. I have a feeling that ZerO is going to try a push of his own to try to bring JangBi down to this level, but more Dark Templar coming in, 3 Dark Templar, and 1 inside this main still. There's still 1 Dark Templar inside the main, which is causing even bigger headache for ZerO. 3 drones, 4 drones going down before that Dark Templar is killed. So an awful lot of harassment from JangBi in this game. I'd say that was a successful rush from him earlier. Yeah, let's get the Dark Templars hanging outside the natural. Gotta fall back for now. Now ZerO has enough Hydras to fight back the Dark Templar. But a couple of High Templar at the natural expansion, this is exactly what JangBi needs. He needs Storm for the upcoming attack from ZerO. Because ZerO hasn't taken his third base yet. He's probably just been trying to drone back up after all those drone losses he took earlier. But yeah, it's probably going to be a little while before he can establish his third, if he's ever going to. Might try to end it with just a Hydra break. But I saw that JangBi was scouting up with a Dark Templar up at the 12 o'clock position, trying to see if ZerO was up there with a hatchery. Yep, he wasn't. So JangBi just got to prepare for an onslaught. And he knows that. He's playing it safe, building the cannons at the front, and now he's getting his +1 upgrade at that forge. It's going to be a delayed +1, of course, but it's good to get that anyway. Here comes a lair for ZerO that might have been actually canceled earlier because it's still going for him now. Let's see what JangBi has at the front. I saw he was getting a third cannon going and warping in a cannon inside of his main, so JangBi is playing it super safe off of this opening, and I can't say I blame him. After getting that much damage done, he doesn't want to fall to something stupid like a Muta attack that he can't handle. So he's got the cannon inside the main just in case. He saw all of the Hydralisk earlier, but he knows that ZerO could easily switch into a kind of Muta build off of this, so he wants to be prepared for it. See, still a bunch of Hydras in full defensive mode at that natural expansion, and with the Dark Templar out in the field, ZerO is going to have a very tough time taking his third, which is why I was thinking that he might just stick to these two and try to end it off of these two bases. And I saw the robotics facility coming up for JangBi and the Spire from ZerO, so he is going to try to get some mutas up in the air. But JangBi's still scouting for the third. He's looking up at the 12, looking at the 9, doesn't see anything. So he just has to prepare at home for the next attack. He's got plenty of cannons at the front, I think. Here's the first-person view of JangBi, still microing around with the Dark Templar in the middle of the map. Microing. There's the robotics facility. He's building the observatory right at the natural to prepare for lurkers as well. But he's just kind of sitting pretty, not going to be attacked for a while after all the damage he did to ZerO. ZerO is just kind of trying to rebuild before he does anything else. But in the meantime, JangBi's going to get up a pretty substantial ground army. He already has a bunch of High Templar at the front that no doubt have about 2 Storm on them at the moment. But okay, yeah, the Dark Templar just doing the scouting, basically, looking for hatcheries to destroy. Yeah, JangBi hasn't found anything yet. Finally, the 9 o'clock base is going to try to come up. ZerO had, I think, a few Hydras on that high ground and an Overlord. Yeah, he has the Overlord for scouting to keep away these Dark Templar, but 3 Dark Templar coming in with the +1 upgrade, so they should be able to melt these Hydras. Yeah, 4 Hydras will not be able to destroy these Dark Templar without some very good micro, but now ZerO trying to fend back. JangBi moving out with his ground army as well. He's going for that third, going to try to shut down the third. And he has 1 Dark Templar left up on that high ground. ZerO's done a pretty impressive job of microing against it for now. But will he be able to... Oh, JangBi kills it. Oh boy. So JangBi is moving up with High Templar now, and yeah, the mutas are going to be super crucial in this next attack. He has to snipe the High Templar with the mutas. He pulls back for now. Pulls out to get rid of this Dark Templar threat at the 9 o'clock. Keep that safe. And now he has to pick off High Templar after sniping the Dark Templar. Yes, those mutas are on a Templar mission today. So here comes High Templar. Plenty of Storm on those High Templar to melt the ground forces that ZerO has, but the Storm on top of the mutas to keep the High Templar safe. 2 High Templar survive that attack. And now static defense being plopped down at the natural expansion. ZerO waiting until... waiting as long as he can before plopping those down. But yeah, with the oh my god, the High Templar in the back, going to be stormed. There's the High Templar still in the back to get the storms. Plenty of Zealots breaking through the defenses as well. And as ZerO was using his mutas to harass instead of bringing them to defend against this attack. So I don't think, yeah, ZerO is going to lose his natural expansion and his main. Not much you can do about that. GG from ZerO. Crazy first game from the JangBi man. That was insanity. But I have to say I've come to expect that from JangBi in series play like this. But okay, let's move on to the second set.